Hello and welcome to the Justice Factor. For more than 60 years, the ANC Youth League has been a powerful kingmaker in the ANC. 2 years ago, however, its leader Julius Malema was expelled from the ANC and its leadership structure disbanded. Can the ANC Youth League return to its former powerful position within the ANC? Ronald Lamola, a former deputy president of the League during Malema's tenure, is now running to be president. He's in the studio to talk to us about the future of the organization. After that discussion, we'll give you a winner and loser of the week. But first, we analyze some of the big political stories of the week. Associate editor of the Daily Maverick, Ranjeni Munusamy, is in our studio, as is Levy Ndou, a political analyst at the Tshwane University of Technology. Guys, welcome to the show. Ranjeni, let me ask you first. The opposition walks out of the Adhoc committee on Kandla. What's the future of this committee? Can it work? Will this walkout racket, or will the ANC just keep going?
It can work because the ANC still has a quorum of 6 members, so they can still take decisions and submit a report to Parliament. So I don't think
legitimate process. It will work, but will it be?
I don't think legitimate is the right word.
What is the right word?
It can still proceed. That's the thing, but whether it's legitimate or not is the question. Because there's two issues in contention. One is whether the remedial action proposed by the Public Protector on Kandla is advisory or mandatory. And the second issue is whether the committee can accept witnesses or have witnesses appear before it. So the opposition parties want that. The ANC doesn't. So after 2 days, it's a Mexican standoff. The opposition walks out. But the question is, does that play into the hands of the ANC? Because they can now submit a report to the National Assembly. That's only their perspective.
What should the opposition have done in this standoff that Ranjeni speaks about, Levy? Should it have walked out at all? Has it played into the ANC's hands?
The opposition has been given sufficient time now to be able to interrogate the report from the Public Protector. I think the supporters of the opposition would love to see their representatives in Parliament ensuring that there is sufficient accountability on the part of the President and the executive.
But they are claiming that actually they are being used, that, oh, the opposition was there, and it gets rubber stamped and the ANC uses its majority to just push it through.
The work of Parliament is to ensure that there is consensus, and all the different parties that are there are supposed to find each other in order to get a solution to this problem. I think walkout does not assist the opposition anymore at this stage. It actually put them on the wrong side of the entire process. But I think at the same time, it is up to the ANC to ensure that the leadership or the President and the executive still account to Parliament as expected by all the citizens of the Republic.
So you're saying that President Zuma should, the ANC in the committee should have said yes, Mr. Frolik should have said yes, we agree, President Zuma should come and account, right, Ranjeni?
Well, the thing is that the President has never accounted to anybody for anything, because from the beginning of this investigation, there have been questions that have been posed to him. He's never responded to them. And if you look, it's actually quite hysterical if you look at the list of questions that the Public Protector did send to him, as well as the SIU. He just completely disregarded it. He submitted a response that basically summarizes what he supposedly knew about it, but there are no detailed responses that he has given. So what the position should be now, according to the Public Protector, is that he should have submitted a detailed response to her report to Parliament. And on the basis of that, Parliament must then make a decision what happens next. Now, without that, without him submitting that detailed response, you're in no man's land, because the Parliament isn't able to make a proper decision as to what to do next.
Let's assume this was a perfect world to both of you. It's a perfect world, and the committee agrees. What actual powers does this committee have in the sense of calling President Zuma? Do we know, does this have to go to court to be determined?
There is a sense in Parliament and mainly amongst the opposition to say that there is something that there are some details that they need to see happening. But also, they also want to see the President coming up with sufficient answers to the questions that the opposition is in need of. At the same time, the President is seen to have supplied half-cooked answers to the opposition. And indeed, the public is actually not satisfied with the manner in which the President has responded. Unfortunately, the session was also disrupted, which also puts the president and the ANC in a better position at this stage.
Let me, Ranjeni, do you want to come in?
In a perfect world, they wouldn't be in Kandla, so.
Well, we've got it now, so let's find a perfect world after Kandla. But one of the images that has troubled me deeply was the picture published by one of the Sunday newspapers of 2 MPs painting their nails during the sitting of the ad hoc committee. Is this committee just a sham, or is it taken seriously by ANC MPs in particular?
Look, I think that is just, you know, the personal conduct and morality of personal MPs. You can't write off the process because, you know, people behave in that way. I think that that committee is legitimate. It is as good as, you know, how much the MPs sitting on it allow it to, conclude its work. And I think that, you know, at some points during, on Thursday and on Friday, you felt that, okay, maybe there was some progress, maybe there can be a consensus position found. But then you realize that the ANC is, it's moving from a position where it cannot allow the president of the country to appear before the committee and answer questions because he would refuse to do so. And also they can't put him in a position where Julius Malema is able to ask him questions because, you know, who knows what will happen then. So whatever they do, they cannot allow things to get to that position, and that is why there's consistently a stalemate.
Levy Ndou, what happens now in this process?
I think it's time now for all the different political parties in parliament to find each other, go back to the Adhoc committee, and find answers to and deliver on the mandate given to them by the National Assembly. I think it's time now that this issue is to be finalized once and for all so that we don't have to talk about Kandla anymore.
Yeah, but the committee resumes tomorrow and Julius Malema is not there because he's in court. So I don't know. Maybe
but the ANC still has a majority.
Yes, so they can submit.
The process can still continue.
Yeah.
Another expose. It's unfortunate. I'm beginning to wonder whether, it seems as if every week we are on this show we talk about Kandla, and that involves President Zuma. Now it's the arms deal. It's back. It talks about President Zuma. The nuclear deal. It talks about President Zuma, and it's becoming quite difficult to find a way to have a political discussion in this country without referring to scandals again and again. But the ANC comes out and this new revelations about the arms deal, with indications by a fixer for the arms dealer Thales, saying all kinds of things that President Zuma received a bribe. The ANC says this is same old, same old. Is it same old, Ranjeni Munusamy?
The essence of it is same old, because it speaks to the alleged deal between Shabir Sheikh and the French arms company, with the proceeds of that deal supposedly going to the then deputy president. The new details, the new salacious details, is the code word of Eiffel Tower. And the concerning thing that has come up now is what happened consequent to the charges being preferred, because it looks as if the president, together with this fixer from Thales, then went around the world on the arms deal company's tab, and clothing was purchased on his behalf. That then becomes concerning because that hasn't emerged before.
Levy, what should this matter go to the Seriti Commission? I'm asking this question because today R2K and more than 25, I think, NGOs said, you know what, disbanded the Seriti Commission, it's collapsed. Should this matter go there? What should happen with these new revelations?
When the Seriti Commission was introduced in 2011, amongst the many South Africans were excited that the arms deal is going to be to reach its finality. But at the same time, I've been very much disappointed with most people who went to the commission, at least those that were aired live, that you couldn't get any substance that relates to the trying to make a connection on what actually happened with the arms deal. We're not getting any answers. And I remember former President Mbeki was also invited, and he kept on saying, we need people to bring facts. It's time now that people don't report to the newspapers. They must go to the commission with the information. I think that is what is going to assist us.
Who should we blame? Is it because people are not bringing facts, or because people think, no, this is a sham?
I think the decision that most people have taken is to report to the newspapers than going to the commission. And that is why most people now are saying that the commission is not actually delivering on the mandate, because the very same whistleblowers that we thought of that we expected them to provide sufficient information to the Commission have actually disappointed us.
Do you agree with that? You get the last word, Ranjeni.
The one problem with this commission is that there was so much of conjecture around the arms deal that it's difficult to find the smoking gun. And so far throughout the commission, there hasn't been that. The second problem is that the whistleblowers have now pulled out. So the people who did research it and did have facts are now no longer participating in the process. The third problem is that the commission has introduced such curbs on the process that it's difficult to maneuver and to do any proper investigation. So I don't see it making any proper progress.
Another thing, Justice, is that there's been a lot of resignations from senior members of the Commission who had all the information that was going to assist the Commission as well.
Levy Ndou, Ranjeni, Munusamy, thanks so much for your time. Right after this, we ask if the militant ANC Youth League of Nelson Mandela and Peter Mokaba can ever be resurrected.